Welcome to Kats Creations live on Friday night. Have you guys missed me? I missed you guys. I think our last live was what, Monday? So we've had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We've been 3 days off with nothing in between. So hopefully you guys are gonna really like this idea because I try to do this once a year for you guys, which is how to make a wreath on a budget. Because not everybody can put in $30, $40 for materials and up. A lot of us have to stay really within a very small budget, but still turn out a really great product. So last year, we did all of our stuff from Dollar Tree. This year, for the main part of what you need, you can get it from Dollar Tree, but you can also order it from any of the online vendors, depending upon what color choices you want. So we're going to be making what's called a loop wreath. And I know people have been sharing photos. There's a lot of people who have already made one. So I'm going to show them to the mass and show you how simple it is to put together a loop wreath and what you can do with it and what it'll look like. And trust me, I think we were impressed, right? When we built ours, it was
yeah.
a lot bigger, a lot more than what we thought. So check audio, check video. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys see me? Thumbs up, give me some hearts.
A lot of people logging in. So we got Teresa,
okay.
Jean, hey Jean.
Hi Jean.
Melanie, Gail, Shirley, Gloria, Judy, Shirley, Teresa, Sue, Deborah, Audrey, Peg, Carrie, Tracy, Brenda, Libby, Karen, Maggie, Grace, and Lucy. Hi gals.
Hi everyone. Well, thanks for joining. If you are a first time viewer, let us know where you're from. We try to get you hopefully paired up with someone pretty local in your community, although we can't guarantee it'll be within your city, but at least we can kind of try to get them as close to you as possible. And so what we're going to be doing is the loop wreath. So I don't know how many of you can just do just comment. Have you already completed a loop wreath? Do you know what a loop wreath is? And so what you're going to be needing is packages of what they call mesh tubing. We call it flex tubing.
Or deco mesh, yeah.
Yeah, or deco mesh tubing. You can get this at the Dollar Tree. Right now they have it in for Halloween and it comes in purple, orange, green, and black. For fall, you get more of a burgundy, orange, a green, and a brown. And then they're slowly starting to stockpile their stuff for Christmas, which will yield you red, green, white, gold, and silver. So, and then if you go online to places like Craft Outlet, The Wreath Shop, Trendy Tree, Deco Exchange, some of our smaller local vendors are also carrying deco mesh. You can get a wider variety of colors, textures, matte colors, so you don't have to just be stuck with deco mesh tubing. But you will need, to complete a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame, you will need 12 bags of this in whatever colors you want. The colors I chose tonight are, let me pull these out. I chose the orange, I chose the burgundy, and I chose the brown because I wanted it to do more fall, a little less Halloween, although I might come back and do a pretty fun one for Halloween. So, go ahead.
Brenda says she doesn't know. Melanie said I do not.
Really?
Libby said no. Denise said no idea. Peggy said I have supplies but I haven't made one yet. Jean said I have tried one and love it.
Okay.
Jane said I have completed and sold my loop wreath, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Maggie said yes, I do know what it is, but not made one.
Okay.
Tracy said no, but wanted to learn. Rhonda said yes, I did one this week. Fun.
They are definitely fun.
And Jane Johnson said I haven't made one yet. Kay said never heard of a loop wreath.
Okay.
So there's quite a few that haven't. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So like I said, these are what I call wreaths on a budget. So if you buy your materials at the Dollar Tree, each bag of deco mesh is $1. So knowing that you'll need 4, what is that, $12 just for the deco mesh. $1 for the wreath frame, and then whatever it is for your pipe cleaners, ribbon, and sign. The sign I'm using tonight actually came from the Dollar Tree last year, so it actually came like this. Is that right? Yeah, it actually came in a frame like this. I took the little glitter stuff out and I just wanted a smaller frame because the size on the inside is going to be roughly, I want to say between 6 and 8 inches when we're completely finished. So it's optional. You don't have to put a sign in. You can just add a ribbon. You don't have to do that. This would make a really super cute, fun centerpiece, candle holder, cake holder, like how we do our centerpieces with round wreaths when we just do all curls. This would function for that as well. You look like you want something.
Oh, we got, there's a D. Marls says, hey, Kat, watching first time from Toronto, Canada, which is up there by Vi, right?
Is it by Vi?
I think she's up there by Toronto, yeah.
Okay.
Haven't seen Vi on for a while, but yeah.
Okay. Anything else? So we can get...
That's it, yeah.
This will be really super simple, I promise you. So what you're going to want to do is, like for me, I got 4 burgundy, 4 brown, 4 orange bags, and what you'll do is you will take your deco mesh out, and I'll do it with the red one because we had pretty much carved up all the other ones. This one's actually older because the new ones now don't have the cardboard tags on them. They kind of come like this. They're all in one. So this is like the ones I used earlier. This is the older one from last year. So what you'll do is you'll take your tubing out. So start with your 3 colors first. You should be able to yield approximately 15 bundles if you measure them correctly, and then you'll cut off your little thing that holds them all together. And I'll show you how to do this. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to unwind all of your deco mesh tubing. So I usually just sit here and do this to make sure that I pull all the little kinks, the little swirls out, just like so, and I've got it done. So the deco mesh tubing, the reason why we call it flex tubing is because it stretches. Now when you're measuring it, you don't want to stretch it, because if you stretch it, you're going to come up, you'll have a lot more bundles, but your bundles, the way you make them, won't be as full. So you would sit here and you'd lay this out. I'm trying to get my scissors. And you don't want to stretch it, so you kind of want it to lay as natural as possible. But see how it wants to do this? Well, I kind of don't want it to do that. So you're going to cut them to 29-inch pieces. So you're going to sit here and do this. So you should get 15 red pieces from one package, 15 brown, 15 orange. And then you just finish. Once you do that, you can either start bundling, or you can just cut everything and then bundle at that point. So I saved some of my bundles. I think this was Steve's that he was working on. What are you looking for? Cookies?
Yeah.
Cookies for the cat. There you go. Okay. So these are my bundles cut in 28-inch pieces. So I have, 29. I have a 29 in the orange, 29 in the red, and 29 in the brown. This was the one that I showed you just how to cut. So remember, you don't want to stretch this. If we were to stretch this deco mesh tubing would probably get 4 feet maybe long. So that's why you don't want to stretch them. You just want to undo it, and it's being fickle, just like so, right to 29 inches. So any questions on prepping your materials before we start showing you how to make bundles?
So, a lot of gals said they're really interested in learning, and a lot of other gals said, yeah, I made one for Halloween, so there's quite a few that have made them. Yeah.
I know, I kept seeing them pop up and I'm like, man, all these people already know how to make it, so they're not gonna wanna know. So you have 2 options. If you want to do it ease of use, use a whole pipe cleaner. If you want to cut down on your supplies, you can use a half. For people who have you know, issues with using their hands and having them cramp up, like for me, I prefer to use the solid piece, a full 12-inch, which means that you're going to need 60 pipe cleaners in whatever color you choose. Keep in mind that once you build your wreath, you're not going to see these anyway, but I chose to do these in the same color of the chocolate brown. And I'll show you, you have a couple options. You can, like there's people, let me show you how most people choose to do it. So they're trying to save on materials, so they'll cut their pipe cleaners in half, because then that way you only need 30. So this is what they'll do. You're going to take your bundles of your 3 colors, and I'm going to try to keep them as unmessy as possible. I usually start with a 2-inch tail. Some people say an inch tail, some people just try to even everything out. Honestly, it's going to be entirely up to you. So what you're going to do though is you're going to kind of create a 4-inch loop, so something like this, and then you're going to create another one, and you're going to hold all those together, and then you're going to create another one, so that you have 2 sets of loops on one side, 1 single loop on this side. You're going to take your pipe cleaner, this is where it gets challenging, and you are going to twist those together. So there's this one, all done already. And then realistically, it gives you this much to try to wrap around 2, because we're going to use the 2 innermost rails, so just the 2 middle ones, not the inside, not the outside, but the middle ones. So you would take your bundle and you're going to go around the 2 inside ones. It's easier if you just flip them over because it's flex tubing, and you're going to secure that to your wire wreath frame, just like that. And you would keep adding bundles, sliding them down your wreath frame until you have 10 for every section. So this 14-inch wreath frame has 6 sections, so you will put 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, and 10 here, and then it's full, and then it's complete. For a total of 60. Yeah, for a grand total of 60. So I'll show you how to do that again, because I need to do one more, but I prefer to have the longer pipe cleaners because it's just easier. There's more to work with.
You've got a Bobby Carlson who said, I joined your group last week but not sure how to access it. So Bobby, you can PM her later or tomorrow and we can help you figure out how to access it. Well,
all you have to do is just go into the Cats Creations private group page. You should have access because I've already approved you. So all you do is just pop into that group and then you're in. So there's my last bundle, just like so. And like I said, I prefer to use a full pipe cleaner. It's just easier. It gives me more to work with.
So you said each side is 4 inches, so you should have a total of about 8 inches, right?
Give or take. I mean, mine aren't exactly perfect. I think mine end up around 7 inches long. But just so that you use it up, some people say your ends should be the same size as your loop. If that's the case, then you're going to have a lot smaller loop. I prefer to have smaller tails and bigger loops. That's the reason why it's called a loop wreath. So you would just sit here and you'd make a whole bunch of these bundles. So let me make one more, because I need one more because I secured that one on and I really don't want to take it off. So let me take these down to my 29 inches, just like so. I'm not going to stretch that out. I'll let that fall to the floor. That should be my other 29. Yep. So we're going to do one more. So there's my roughly 2 inches for my tail. So there's 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loops.
A little bit longer than that one.
Yeah, the red one's a little long. So sometimes it just, depending upon how I'm looping them, I might have one that's got a little longer loop. I just trim it off. And then,
That's where you go back and use the half of a half of one.
I don't like using the half ones. I prefer using the long ones. So this way it gave me the extra 2. So I think I have, let me count the ones I have. So there's 1 bundle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 and 10. So I have 10. So those are ready to go on and complete our section. Remember, you're gonna work one section at a time. This is what I did. I made 10 bundles. Actually, I worked through the whole package. So I made a total of 15. Took the first 10, filled my section, did the next 5, and then I broke out the other bag, did another 15 bundles, finished one, finished another section, and so on until you finish it. So any questions on how to make your bundles, how to measure your flex tubing, how to secure it onto the wire wreath frame, and you can do these in 16-inch lengths, you can do them in 18-inch or 18-inch diameter wire frames. It's entirely up to you how big you want to go.
Peggy, this cut to 29 inches. So yeah, she said you should get about 15 cuts of each color per bag, right?
Yeah, if you're cutting them to 29 inches. I think it says on the outside of the bag, the Dollar Tree bags are 36 feet of deco mesh tubing. So if you're really good at math, and I'm not, because I can't even get through toilet paper math, I just figured, no I don't. I'm just looking at the size of the roll of toilet paper and trying to figure out the best price. Get as many bundles as you possibly can. It doesn't hurt to pick up an extra couple packages of deco mesh flex tubing, because you can incorporate these into your wreath designs as well and use these instead of half bows to fill your ribbons, because it adds that pop of metallic color.
So here's another tip. Rennie said, I find if you use 4 color tubing, so 4 colors,
right?
I find you only have to put 8 bundles per section.
That would be good too.
So, yeah.
I was gonna do, I bought, actually bought
green,
16. Huh? Yeah, I bought the green, and look at how good the green looks. Like, I didn't even use the green, but it would have looked really good, because these were the fall colors. This is that whole episode where I went into Dollar Tree and some lady was mad because I was pulling them all off the shelf, and she was behind me saying, I hope you plan on saving me some. I'm like, look, I just need to get what I need and I'm out. So these would be awesome colors to put together: the brown, the maroon, the orange, and green.
Yeah, Rennie said she loves 4 colors, but
yeah, it's entirely up to you. You guys can decide what you want to do. You can fill a section at a time and decide which, this would be super cute to do in anything. Shades of blue with some silver and white would be really pretty too.
And earlier she said she just learned how. She's already made 4 of them already.
How have you done on the sales of them? I noticed when we went to Etsy, just to kind of price point them, there are some people that are ridiculously selling these for pretty much just supply cost. It's hard to find them because you don't know what people are labeling them. I don't know if they just like roll them up under fall deco mesh wreaths. Some people call them loop wreaths. Some people call them loopy wreaths. Some people call them a loop tube wreaths. So it's kind of hard to find them. So it depends. You want to make sure that if a customer's looking for this particular type of product, that you're utilizing all those terms in your Etsy shop, so that whatever they're searching for, hopefully they'll find you.
And Genevieve asked, do the single loop go on the inside or outside, or does it matter? It really doesn't matter how you loop it.
The single? You mean like the one that just has like one, whereas the other side has 2?
Yeah.
I got really...
follow the curve is what I was doing.
I get real anal. So I figure if there's 2 on one side, like you're doing double on one and then a single on one side. As I staggered them in my sections, the first one, like number 1, number 3, number 5, number 7, number 9, were all single loop to the outside, and then all the even ones were double loops to the outside.
So you're all just alternating.
I was alternating.
Gotcha.
But that's how I did it. I was like, okay, single, that's one. I'm trying to think of like something simple, because I was like, you know, as you start to stack them and they get really, you know, close together, you're trying to separate them and go, was that 2 loops or was that 1? So that's my method that I came up with.
And then she said she's charging $40. So I don't know, is that including shipping?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be probably about $15 to ship. So that may make it about $55.
Well, we said that when we finished the circumference of 1, we got to a diameter of 20 inches. So 20 inches by 4 inches high without a ribbon added. So I guess it would depend on your frame, but I know that somebody was selling them on Etsy at 48, and I'm like doing the math on the product cost, right? So you have $12 or what is it, $16 if you're going 4 colors, and then you add your sign depending upon where you get your sign. If it's the dollar store, hey, you're helping to economize a little bit more. If you add ribbon, not add ribbon. And then for me, here on the California coast, all of my shipping averages between $20 and $25. It's a rarity if I can get them down to like a 13 or 18. So I have to attribute those shipping costs into my wreath products, and then you have to pay yourself something to do all of the work, because you're not just going to trade material costs plus shipping to get a great quality product to a customer, not make anything. So I honestly don't see how people are doing it if they're taking like a $48 including shipping and trying to incorporate that. I think, what did we say, between 50 and 60? I think most of the people that we had seen were pricing them right at 50. There's someone who went as high as 61, but they had a lot more stuff on it. So I think depending upon what you add, you're going to have to bump your prices up. If you add a sign, if you add ribbon, if you add the styrofoam glitter balls, you're going to have to increase those costs because you're using more materials. If you want to keep it basic, then yeah, you can sell them for less.
Since the tubing has become hard to find at Dollar Tree, must be popular.
You can order them online.
That's true.
But here's the sad thing. All the Deco Mesh color tubing all has the same SKU number. So what happens is when you order these by the case, they will send you, I forget how many comes in a case of tubing. It's their choice. Like, I don't think they go, okay, well, I'm going to give you the fall color palette, so you'll have, say, 5 green, 5 burgundy, 5 orange, 5 brown. It's just up to the discretion of how it gets packaged at the shop. So that's the downside, is you don't really have a choice in what comes in a box. And I wish they divvied them out by SKU color, so you could order like a box of orange, a box of red, a box of green, a box of brown, and then you know that you would have more than enough.
Yeah.
What now?
Nothing. Grace asked how many loops you put in each frame. Well, it's 10 in each section, but there's 3 on each tie, right?
Well,
2 on one side.
Yeah, so there's a set, so 2 sets on one side and then 1 set on the other.
Right.
So you loop, then loop, and then loop again, and then that should be it.
Which I guess is also 6 loops on one side, 3 on the other.
Yeah, 6 and then 3 if you're counting per loop.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions you guys have? We're going to just move it forward to actually finishing up the last section. I have one done all but one section, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
A couple. Rennie said there's 36 to a case. And then she said I don't put a bow on it because her cost is only $14. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's entirely up to you guys.
Yeah.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So we're gonna fast forward because I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me make all 60 bundles, but this is what it starts to look like when you're full. So this is 5 sections complete. So this is 50 bundles. So as you can see, it's very full. you can't really see much light through it. You can't see the frame through it, which was my big concern, is how are you going to pack the loops tight enough to where it looks full? Or, you know, these would be fun for even football, because I'm like, right when I looked at this and I was looking at the burgundy and orange, I was thinking like USC colors or something like that for football. Yeah. So these are super simple to make. And what I did is when I tied these on, the even ones, I basically allowed the pipe cleaners, like I'll show you on here because it's a little easier. That was a little too full. So when I'm doing my pipe cleaners, on one of them, I'm going to put it through the two. So I just try to center the loop section, and then I'll twist it like 5 times. It just makes it so much easier when you have a lot to work with rather than a little. And so on the odds, I would cut the additional pipe cleaner off. On the evens, I leave it long, and what I do is I feed it through the wire frames like this. So there will be 30 of those long
stems, I guess.
Yeah, you can kind of see them right here, and that's where having them kind of color coordinated to your deco mesh tubing color. This would allow me to add embellishments, to add like the little styrofoam balls, which is what I'm going to add. Like I did, I started to do it here and here. I can add those as an inexpensive embellishment to the wreath, right, and kind of make it look nice. So that's why I use the longer ones. So you might want to go like half on some and then longer on the other. It's up to you. But let me take this one off because
I think you're going to show another way of embellishing it later too, right?
This one? Yeah. Once we finish this one, so I'm just going to tie on those 10 bundles. So let me take this one off. So we're just going to go ahead and complete this section. So knowing that this is a 1, I'm going to take the one with the single loop, not the 2 loops, and I'm going to put this right between my 2. And I find it's just so much easier to work with everything upside down, especially when you get them pretty full. And then this way I can take my loops, push them out of the way, and get that one pretty tight.
That's fun. There's a Rick Motivant said, anyone else see Bob Ross's hair?
You and did that.
I was just talking to my friends, and we were texting each other how funny, because I actually put the frame up to my head, and it looked like Bob Ross's hair. Or Ronald McDonald, however you want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
So we were having fun laughing.
Yes. This conversation went off for quite a while I was prepping. Yep. So when he had it about this far thing, he like put his head through and did selfie pictures and sent those out. So yeah. So because that was my 1, I cut the loop off. So now I'm going to come in. Here is my 2 loops. So I'm just putting those to the outside. So I just keep everything to the outside, and then I just come in here, push those to the side so that I can get that as close as possible. Got it around the wrong way.
Somebody was saying that Dollar Tree was offering free shipping if you bought over $35.
2. Well, that's good because there's 36 in a package, right? 5. So knowing that this is my even, I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull this up so it's now at the top. Now I'm going back. This is my odd. So here's my single loop. I'm going to feed this through. Oop. And get my
Judy says, it's so funny, I'm sitting here making that same wreath tonight. So I guess she's got the same colors.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna do the green in here.
And then Sarah said, so could you do this technique on a smaller wreath that's like an 8-inch?
Yes, you can. I would just make smaller, smaller sections. So I would probably do smaller loops. Because I was talking to Steve about that before we went live, and I was like, this would look really good on a candy cane frame. I would just go smaller loops to keep the integrity of the frame showing. So you can see it's not doing anything to my loops to keep them upside down, because they pretty much are self-supporting. So this is my even. So I'm going to put my loops to the outside.
Oh, Peg, I guess, sorry, I was mistaken. It's Etsy. Etsy emailed today. They're giving free shipping over a $35 order.
They always have.
They always have, yeah.
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 Yep.
And then Sarah, you talked about doing it on an 8-inch wreath. She said, which ring would you do? Because the 8-inch wreath forms only have like 2 wires. So you just do both. You tie it around both. Yeah,
exactly. Because it was like, if you did it around one, it would just kind of flip-flop around. It wouldn't stay where it's supposed to.
Right.
So that is my even. So this is odd to the outside. So we're going to finish this one. And our goal is to keep all our loops to the outside. Trying to get the other tail under there. So this is odd, so we'll twist them. I usually twist them like 6 or 7 times, and then I'll snip it off because it's the odd. Otherwise you'll have way too many pipe cleaners on the other side. And just kind of fold that underneath the other one. So here's our 2. So just like so. And it's going to start to get pretty tight as we fill the gap. So remember, these ones will go through so that if I want to use them, they're available. And
I guess you could use this technique, Jean. She said, what about green and red without or with gold on a witch's hat? I guess you could use this technique for the bottom brim.
I don't see why not. I mean, I think this is where you can totally be a completely, you know, an innovator and come up with your own design. I mean, somebody had to come up with this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then that's how you develop trends, is somebody tries to do it. 3, 4.
Yeah, Sharon said, great idea. I'm doing a candy cane with this technique too.
It would be super cute because I think the metallic quality would really bring out, you know, that sparkle that we always miss. So we're doing even.
And you could probably even do it in patterns where you could do 3 white, 3 red, 3 white, 3 red.
You could add your stripes that way.
Yeah.
Steve's trying to get all technical.
And Rainey said, I'm such a penny pincher, I cut my pipe cleaners in half. Well, she's going to show you why she's not doing that later.
There's, for a lot of us, hand strength over the long period of time, trying to deal with something small and just working with your fingertips rather than doing something like this. It's easier for a lot of people who have arthritis or fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis. So this is a little easier for them to manipulate. And like I said, it also sets it up for the option to utilize those in a totally different way. I'll go pick that one up in a second.
I think we were also saying that because this is a loop wreath and it's just a tubing, this could be used for a storm door because it'll actually compress a little bit.
Yeah,
it's soft.
It's not going to be like, you know, you're going to ruin it because you have to keep the door closed. Let me move my tube out of the way. And if you ever forget, you can count your tubing here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is my last one. The one that I dropped to the floor. So this is my 2 loop to the outside. And so now this is getting really super tight. I'm like trying to use my hands to kind of create a space for that to go into. Just like this. And then we'll kind of tuck that in.
Sure, so I think they call that granny's loops.
Oh yeah, you could. 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're saving these ones, so we're just going to push those through to the other side. And then we will flip it over, and then this is where you get to have a ton of fun just kind of fluffing those. But look, it's very super full. You could, notch my little bulb up. Let me see. Yes, I do. Cut this out. So if you wanted to use it as a candle holder, look how fun that is. You can use it as a centerpiece, and it's all perfect for whatever season. You could put a cake plate in and have all that to the outside. But this is why I saved my pipe cleaner. So wherever there's a pipe cleaner, this is where you can incorporate the grains. So these come like this in a bag from Hobby Lobby. So these are their fall scatters and fillers. So you get the orange, the brown, and the green. Steve brought out like my red ones, and I just didn't care for the red because this isn't really so much a red, it's more of a like a burgundy color. And they come in, let me see if I can do this. They come in 2 different sizes in the bag. So you have a big one or you have little ones, and then you can, this is why I left all my pipe cleaners out. So I can just take those, go around the whole outside of my wreath, and you can add those little styrofoam balls just to give it just some fun dimensions, something kind of cute that you can play off of. So, and you can move your scatters and fillers wherever you want them to go. You know, you can move them more to the inside, you can tuck them through a different loop. Let's grab a couple more green. So, and all you're going to do is just run your hands through here to find all of your pipe cleaners. They're tucked right in here. And then what you would do is come back later and glue all these on. And here we go.
Hi gals. There's a Tommy Sue that says this loop design was originally created by Grammy of Grammy's Wreath Boutique. So that's probably why they call it the Grammy loop.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome.
But just imagine that. I mean, someone just sat around and went, I wonder what would happen if we took, you know, deco mesh tubing and just started to put loops on them, or, you know, add the little styrofoam balls. So I'm setting this up by popping my pipe cleaners through, that if I want to come back in and embellish this with those scatters and fillers, you can. What we're going to do is we're actually going to attach a sign to this, and then I'll come back and finish embellishing the balls. But this sign, now when you take it and you lay it in here, look how it pops that sign. Something just very small. And I'll tell you what the dimensions are on this, which are, it's a 9-inch sign by, it's like 9 by 6.5. So a lot of people were saying if you found an 8-inch round sign, that would be perfect for the inside of your wreath. So because this is that, it's kind of like an MDF wannabe thing, we can't staple because number one, it's a lot thinner than it needs to be. So we're gonna do the old tip, where we're gonna take the adhesive ties, we're gonna attach these to the back, just like these. And you can get the commercial ties, that's what they're called, commercial cable tie, commercial adhesive cable ties, right? At Home Depot. And you just peel them off. This is what I use to help hold the wreath down inside the box when they're ready for shipping. And it allows you to put pipe cleaners vertically and horizontally. So see, we can go this way or we can go this way. So I'm going this direction.
And you could add a little bit of glue on the corners to kind of glue them down.
Yeah, I just like to get my pipe cleaners through because otherwise they end up going through the glue. So I'm doing mine here like this. Give them a couple twists. And I've got my Gorilla Glue set. So what I like to do is just put a thin little bead around here between my adhesive tie. Oops. Just like so. This way, depending upon the weather, I don't have to worry about this popping off.
I guess you could also use a little tiny drill if you wanted to drill 2 little holes.
You could.
They just said, what about using your jewelry tool to punch holes? You could do that too.
I don't know if it would do it. I don't want to test it. Yeah. We'll let that set up and I'll go ahead and get the bow started while we're waiting for that. And to get it set, so the ribbon that I have chosen, let's see, set that here. We're gonna do this fall stripe. So this came from Hobby Lobby. We're doing this orange glitter, which kind of plays into this craft outlet. And then this also came from Hobby Lobby this year. So we're trying to stay within the metallic theme because it would look kind of odd. I had pulled this one earlier. It looks odd to do a matte finish ribbon when you have a metallic base. So we're staying in the metallic hues.
So Rhonda, yeah, when she showed you how to put those little fillers on and scatters and fillers, yeah, she would take them off, glue the little hole, and then attach them right back on so they don't come off.
Yeah, just like, here's one of the ones that I had. So this is what I do when we're off camera, is now that I can see where the hole is, I come back in, I add a small little dot of glue, take this, and stick that back on my pipe cleaner and go all the way around. Usually if I add a bow, I'll start from this side of the bow, go all the way around, and then that way I know everything that I've picked up or pulled up has all been glued. So let's go ahead and add our bow. So we don't want it to be overly crazy. So I'm gonna keep my tails fairly short, but I'm also gonna create a base for my ribbon. So this one is, I'm gonna do 7 inches. So it's right at the line, but we need to dovetail that. So wired edges together. We're gonna take our scissors and cut from the fold all the way down to that point. So you get that perfect dovetail. We know 7 inches was right on that burgundy line. So using the bow dabber, which is all about the twist, we're gonna go ahead and create let's see how big these are gonna be. We're gonna do 5-inch loops just for the base. And then we'll come back in and do
a little bit smaller.
The 1.5 inch, yeah. But we've got to make sure that we don't have like one small loop, one large loop.
Linda, I've never heard of that. She said, I have a crop a dial that works great for punching holes. Never heard of that.
What is that?
I don't know.
I've never heard of that.
And then Rhonda, you use a dual temp glue gun, but you should have it on low temp.
Yeah, especially when you're gluing those balls, because sometimes your pipe cleaner is just barely enough, so you're holding your pipe cleaner, sometimes to our own detriment, a little too close. Like if we're gluing our, let's do it this way so you can see. When we're getting ready to glue, we'll hold our pipe cleaner like this because we don't want it to bend, and here's the hot glue, and we go to attach it and all of a sudden you've glued your fingers. So you want to make sure that you leave enough gap. So just put your finger down here. So it would all just depend on where your pipe cleaners were.
Glinda said, I have a terrible time with my bows. What is the formula?
Okay.
Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, practice, practice, practice. Okay, so look, you will always start with your loop to one side. You start right side fabric up, and then you do the twist, and then that puts you on wrong side fabric here. You create your loop, twist, wrong side fabric here. As it comes over, it's creating this loop, twist, and then you've got to twist again in order to get your loop to where you have your tails on both sides. So, and then what I do with my bow dabber is I find like the 20s or like the 15, and so right here it's on the 20, so I know from the 20 to 25, oops, 20 to 25, there's my 5-inch loop. Same thing here, 20 to 15, and then I have 7-inch tails. So then we're going to do the same for the 1.5 inch, and I'm going to go the plain. So we're going to dovetail that. So we know it's 7 inches. So there's 20 to 27, so twist. Even though this doesn't have a right side or a wrong side, it gets you into the habit. So, and we're going to take these to I think 4.5 inches, but we're going to do a double.
So Audrey, she could actually just do the wreath as is without any extra embellishments.
Yeah, you can leave it like that.
So it's totally wreath on a budget, but I mean adding the bow with the ribbon might add $2 to the cost.
Yeah.
And
really.
then the embellishments aren't going to add even $1 to the cost. So you're talking an extra $3. But that extra $3, by the time you put the bow and the embellishments and the sign, you might be able to sell it for an extra $5 or $6. So
yeah, it takes it from just doing something like this and let's punch it up a bit. So you could even do this with Dollar Tree ribbon because it's not going to cost a lot. You don't need to invest a lot using, pick up a couple rolls of the Dollar Tree ribbon. Let's see, I'm just going to do these. These are 4.5 inch loops here. Again, with a 7-inch tail. Here. And then what you can do is, knowing that this is a 30-foot roll for $7.99 at Hobby Lobby, you get it 40% off. So really, what's 40% off of that? $8, five something, yeah. Right? So you could do 5 something a foot, and then or $5 total for a 30-foot ribbon. So you take $5, divide it into 30 feet. Or sorry, you're going to get, how did I do this? $5, divide it by a foot, and it tells me approximately how much 1 foot of ribbon is equivalent to. And then I usually account like 2 feet to do like this ribbon, maybe. I don't get like super precise, but a lot of times I'll have my cost per foot listed on the ribbon, so I know how much. Most of the time it's like 53 cents or 37 cents worth of ribbon used. So you can just round up and go $2 for the ribbon. So in this case, you would have a lot left over. So we're going to finish this one up. I just think it needs a bow, but that's just me. So I'm going to go a little bit shorter on this one, which, just to make sure, it's still 7 inches.
Daisy said, don't you factor labor and materials times 3? Not all the time.
I really don't.
You can do it materials times 2, material times 3, or whatever you think you can get for it.
Oh, well, like, if it's a lot of prep work, like this takes a while to cut and assemble all the bundles. But then once your bundles are all done, it's super simple to just take them and twist them all on there. So the way that I try to factor it is how much would I want to be paid to sit here and make this wreath all day long. As many wreaths that I could make. Let's say someone just assembled all the bundles for you and you just had to assemble it. What would your labor cost be? Because if you sit here and say, I want to be paid $25 an hour to do this, okay, materials cost is roughly around $15. So right there's $40 for the wreath. So if you want to play with everybody else and include shipping in that, like I said, shipping for me is $20 to $25.
Maybe it's light, so and it's smaller.
It doesn't matter about the
if you factor in going coast to coast, yeah, then it's got to be
with retail ground now. It's just like $20 to $25. So right there you're at $60 or $65. No one's gonna buy the Wreath at $65. So you just gotta kind of figure it out. I think this is better if you can sell it locally and then meet someone or have someone meet you, or if you're taking them to a craft fair, you get to save on all the savings because you don't have to buy the box. You don't have to package it. You don't have to put your pipe cleaners in there, or your tissue paper, or print out your labels, or do anything else. Purchase your boxes, drive to the post office. You get to keep your costs way down because there's no shipping cost involved for you. So it just depends. This would be a great wreath for me in my community, because I could keep the price point down where I think people would be really super comfortable paying for this all day long. So like listing it on the Facebook Marketplace, I could probably sell a ton of these, you know, for $40 a pop, because I don't have to ship them. So now here's the thing. When you're practicing ribbons, right now the only thing you've done is cut into your ribbon, and you've basically put little twists in them. So if this doesn't work out for you, if you don't like the way that it looks, you simply just unassemble it. Like I'm thinking right now, while I was talking, I should have done 4 loops and I only did 2 on the top one. But I can come back in and make, matter of fact I will. Oh, because I wasn't thinking. I'll just go ahead and add additional loops, because I wanted 4 loops on the shorter, 4 loops here, 1 loop on the bottom. So let's just go ahead and add this. But when you put it all together and you pull it all out, if you absolutely hate it, take the pipe cleaner off, undo everything, and start all over again in your bow dabber. Super simple. If you don't like it, you are not stuck with that. Just take it apart. I've done that so many times. My loops are off. 1 loop's bigger than the other. I don't like the way the tails are sitting. Pull it apart and start all over.
Brenda asked, how do you figure out how many loops and how long should the tails be? Just your judgment, right? Your judgment call.
Yeah, like when I'm sitting here going, okay, my bow's gonna pretty much start right here. So I'll just, that's what I was doing with the larger one, as I was kind of playing with where do I want my tails to wind up. Knowing that I've got to, and this is dry now, knowing I'll have my sign in here, where do I want my tails to stop?
Right.
So if I want them to stop there, I just take that, determine my measurement, and that's where I got the 7 inches. And then I was like, okay, my tails are 7 inches, so my loops have to be somewhere a lot smaller than that. So I think I did 5 on the bottom, and then I did 4.5 with these, and then I did 4, and then I did 3.5 as I brought that oops. I boofed it because I wasn't paying attention while I was talking.
Right. Deborah said, I've got to make this. I love it, and all the colors. Bobby said I had to redo my bow on my live last night, but it's a good teaching moment. Yes, it is.
It really is. And like I said, you guys just watched me. I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, oh, I just shorted myself an entire loop, and I already cut that off. So now I'm gonna have like extra tails. Who cares? So let's go ahead and attach our sign. So because this is super simple, right? Because we can actually dive right down into the middle with our frame, it's gonna be a no-brainer to take this, run it all the way down through our Decor tubing, trying to get it to not go through the tubing, and put this on the other side.
Vicky Cat has the pumpkin on the wall. She has a private tutorial in her private
the pumpkin?
group.
Yeah. We call those the 3D yarn pumpkins.
Yeah. Rennie was the same one earlier who told about she's done it before and how much. She hasn't been able to find those 3D pumpkin frames yet either.
I think because it was such a new thing, I'm trying to center this, because I think it was such a new product this year. I don't know if Dollar Tree I don't know if people are really going to want to buy these. So let's put we'll assign a case to every store. And so what ended up happening is when they went out, people either scooped them up. I know a lot of people scooped them up, then went on eBay or Etsy and started selling them for $7 a frame because they were super, super hard to find. And so within our community, and that's why we love our community groups so much, is we have a network of people who are all over the US, and we're like, okay, we're on a hunt. Everyone's on the hunt. We're all hitting the Dollar Tree stores trying to find the frames. You know, who wants so many frames? Let us know. We'll box them up, we'll ship them. So that's pretty much what we did. So there is our sign attached to that.
Denise, so that's a lot less than $60 a foot.
What's that?
If you added up all the feet of ribbon that you used, divided by how much it is per roll.
This?
No, the actual ribbon.
Oh yeah, this is well, there's 30 feet. So if it's $5 divided into 30 feet, okay, it's like 60 cents a foot.
No, it's not even that.
Not even that? Is
No,
it?
because 60 cents a foot, if you did 5 feet, that's $3.50 just for 5 feet.
Okay,
Right? So
I don't have said calculator in front of me. Like I told you, I can't do toilet paper math beads.
yeah, that's $3 just for 5 feet. So it's not even half. It's like half of that. It's not even
30 cents.
It's like 20 cents, or 20 cents a foot.
Yeah, maybe like 30 cents a foot.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. But that's how I factor in all of my, and I'm just trying to fluff this while I have it in my hand. And I'll just fluff it again while it's on my wreath. So I'm just trying to get the
There you go.
majority of it.
Glenda factored in. She said it's about 17 cents. Yeah, I thought it was around
A foot.
20.
So think about that.
17 cents a foot, yeah.
I'm not charging, and this is what some wreath makers will do, is they'll charge the customer the entire roll of ribbon. If I have to carve into this, it's, $5. It's like you will, I guess if you've been doing it for a while and you have that reputation where people expect, you to use a ton of ribbon, and you're going to use a whole roll of ribbon, then you're going to charge for that. But for me, I try to give customers the benefit of the doubt. I try to give them the best price possible, because I'd rather have repeat customers than just one-time customers.
Marcia said, I've been incorporating my Beanie Babies into my wreaths lately,
That would be super cute.
but I don't sell. I have 2 collections, mine and my daughter's, sometimes by theme and other times by color. We used to have a huge Beanie Baby collection.
Yes, we did.
We actually used to be sellers back in the day.
Back in the day. So I'm just separating all these. So I'm going to take this one down because it's a little too long. I don't really want it to impede on my sign. So this is where you can make some last minute judgment calls. I'll take this one down a little bit more because we took down the other one. There we go. So it's entirely up to you. What's wrong, babe?
Nothing. Good old Facebook. Kicked me out.
Facebook kicked you out?
Yeah, it said error loading. So.
Okay, let me look at this because it always looks different when I'm doing it on top. Try to put our arcs back in.
Right, Rhonda. That's kind of what it should be. I don't charge for a whole roll, only for what I use. Right.
Exactly. And at this stage, like I said, I think what I factored in was like $2 for ribbon. I think I'm okay. Is $1 for the sign. The profit, like, I am not sitting here able to go have Steve at his day job because I'm making a ton of money making wreaths. I just enjoy doing this. It's very relaxing for me. So this is just something I totally enjoy doing, is making amazing things that people can purchase and add to their home so that they
And you were a trainer by field, so you just love teaching.
I love teaching. I always thought now when I was a corporate training, I was like, man, I gave up teaching. I should have become a teacher. So you can either, you know, put your sign down in a little further, nestle it in. So what I would do is just sit here, finish doing the rest of my, I'm going to try to do the ones that I have here to the outside, around the bottom. And we'll show you what this looks like. Just add a couple more. Sometimes it's super easy to find them, and other times not so easy. So I'm just going through, finding all my scatters and fillers and just adding those in. Then like Stu says, you know, after we go off the camera, that's when I'll go back in and then glue all of them in so that they're permanent. Because who wants to watch glue dry? Not me.
Well, I hope you continue to get better, Brenda. She said she went to physical therapy today.
How'd that go?
Still hasn't healed. She says still hasn't healed, but I hope you're feeling better day by day.
Yeah.
Oh, Velia, she said, you make beautiful wreaths. I love the Steelers wreath you made for me. So that was a while ago.
Yeah, that definitely was.
Hopefully it's still holding up and you put it up every football season.
Yeah, like right now, right?
Yeah.
It is football season. And that was another thing too. I was like, oh, this would have been perfect because there's that football sign that I think Jane makes that says like something like it's football season. You could add that and make a football wreath with your favorite football teams.
Yeah.
That's definitely something you can add in. Here's another one.
No problem, Dorothy. She said, I missed you making the wreath, so I'll catch the replay.
Super simple though. We kind of cheated. We just showed you the basic technique, which is, let me show you how to do it here. And then we just kind of went, here we are, let's add a bow and embellish it. Because then, there we go. So it's super simple, and that's why I said you don't have to use the full pipe cleaner. You can just use the half pipe cleaner and save. You know, I think Dollar Tree sells pipe cleaners. Don't know what the quantity is. I want to say maybe 50 to a bag, maybe a little less, for $1. So you could, you know, you have enough of that you can keep your costs down. That's what this was all about, keeping your costs down.
Oh, yeah.
What?
They said that Steelers wreath was a gift for her boss who retired last year.
Aw, very cool. Oops, almost knocked my door off. I'm trying not to stick it on the little command hook that I have. But I have all the glitter for my son.
Yeah.
Making sure I have it straight. But there you go. Wreath on a budget. Super simple. You can make a ton of them. You can mix and match your color combos. It's entirely up to you.
And then you can, like I said, you go back in and finish all the little embellishments, glue them back in.
Yeah, I have to go back in and glue all the glue balls, except the one that I glued, right?
Yep.
But knowing that there was 30 pipe cleaners, that gives me about 60 balls, give or take. And then you can just, you know, because these are on those pipe cleaners, you can move them wherever you want them to be. You can pick them up and drag them wherever you want your colors to wind up. So.
Good question, Deborah. She said, when you do your fluffing of your bows on your wreath, do you have the problem where the loops are not straight and shows where you did the twist? My bows get twisted when I try to fluff. Is there a way to avoid that?
I think how are you doing them through a bow dabber? Are you doing them through like the Easy Bow Maker? Are you doing it on the Pro Bow? Because like for me, just doing it here, just doing that twist, you're putting in a pretty good solid twist. So when you're doing the loop, and I'll just throw one together here pretty quick. For me, I spin the bow maker. It's just easier for me. So I try to put a pretty good twist in it, and I try to really push down on it once I finish my little loop.
Yeah, I think pushing down on it and really pinching it is
Right
kind
there.
of the key. Yeah.
Right, so then when I take my pipe cleaner, let's just cut this one. Like so. Pipe cleaner. So when I look at that, that's my stack. This is only a 4-loop bow, but we'll go ahead and take that. We'll twist like so. But then when you're going, if you look, you don't really have much to twist. You're just pulling them out and turning them to the outside. So I don't really have any problem with a pinching. So I'm just doing them like so. This one looks funky just because it's a 4-loop bow, but no, not generally. Like I think you're thinking like right in here, but you're not twisting these. You're just opening them up because they're already twisted when you put them in the bow dabra. And you're just angling your tails wherever you want your tails to go.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be super hard. But let's say, for example, you hated that, you feel like this loop is smaller than this loop, you can either pull your tail, you can pull your tail close, and then refluff your tail back out.
Yes, can we see the angel?
Oh, the angel, sure. But that should help. And if you absolutely hate this bow, look, this is super simple. You take your pipe cleaner, and I've done this countless times before. You take it and see how it's all twisted. That tells you where all of my twists are, and you can just start all over again.
Yep.
So you're like, okay, there we go. Here's that twist. Here's that twist. So you can make adjustments as you go through, and then just, that's kind of how it would go in the real world. And then you can make whatever adjustments you want. So don't be afraid to take it apart. It's not a permanent thing. Even when you attach it to the wreath, if you absolutely hate the color combo you have, take it off and pull out whatever combo you don't like. I had a customer this week ask me, like, I don't want this bow in it. Can you take that ribbon out and substitute it with something else? Absolutely. All I did is undo the pipe cleaner on the back, pull that ribbon out, set the ribbon aside, cut new ribbon, and then restack it, retwist it, and it was done. Super simple.
Yep.
So, yep. So, yeah, these are the fall angels for this year. So this is my fall angel. So there's a lot of people who have fall trees. So this is my design. I mean, somebody probably came out with it before I did, but
we kind of broke it apart and really
became too much of a perfectionist, trying to make sure my wingtips were all pointed, changing the way that I did the skirts,
right.
Coordinating the bib, because for me, I just don't like I wouldn't put an orange bulb here. I just would rather do natural or white, but I see some people will change their bulbs to match whatever color.
Right.
I just prefer them to be white or
the
wood. Yeah. Like Hobby Lobby sells the little wood balls,
right.
so you just take them and glue them on. But yeah, and then this is all made with fabric mesh, but because you can't cut it with a wood burning tool, this has all been sealed with E6000 spray.
Yeah.
So no fraying anymore.
This is your big fall and Christmas seller.
Yeah, I try to change the colors every year for fall. Like last year we did kind of more like
browns and golds.
Golds, and greens. And this year we kind of stayed with the orange and tan. I call it, it reminds me of like orange creamsicles from summer.
Yeah.
So we kind of went with that palette. I haven't yet decided what we're going to do for Christmas yet. We always do silver, we always do gold, we always do the traditional colors. But I always try to come up with a crazy cool design. Like last year we did, I think it was burgundy and tan, was like the farmhouse angel. So there you guys all go. Do you guys have any questions about the loop? So if you guys are interested, these are available in my Etsy shop. If you want to learn how to make them, come join my private group. The tutorial for this and the tutorial for the 3D, we call it the 3D yarn wreath. Those are all part of the group. It's all part of the library, and you have access to the library as long as you remain a current member. So that's pretty much about it, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay, so private group, if you want to join, just go to Kats Creations, the letter N as in Nancy, more.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, and there's all the information on how to sign up, what you get discounts from a couple sign vendors, and now our sign vendors are kind of turning into deco mesh and embellishment vendors, so it's pretty crazy now. So did I miss any questions?
I mean, they're still asking questions. I mean, can you ask what does the angel sell for?
Let me think, because
now you have to add shipping.
Now we have to factor. Yeah, before 30, it was like I knew.
About 45 probably with shipping. 45 to 50.
It just depends.
Because
I think I'm doing 50.
That's about $30.
Because I have to buy custom boxes. Because now these have to go in a 16 by 16 by 4 inch box.
Yep.
So yeah, that whole shipping thing just has been detriment to those of us that sell larger items, larger lightweight items, I should say.
Joyce, she sprays it with like an E6000 spray glue, just to keep the tips where they don't move.
Yeah, and then go ahead.
Rhonda said, was the candle arrangement you posted made in your private group?
No, I actually just made that for a customer the other day. She had messaged me because she found my angel wing wreath, and I guess she had a death in her family, so she wanted me to change out some of the ribbon on that, and then she wanted me to create a centerpiece. And so she wanted it to kind of commingle or kind of go with that that wreath. So no, that was all. The technique is the same. It's kind of like this. You just create a round wreath, and then we shot pictures of it with the hurricane to show her that it does support a candle. You know, the Yankee, I think, whatever it is, 32-inch candle, whatever. So, and then afterwards, if she wants, she didn't want to use it as a centerpiece anymore, you could take it and turn it and use it as a wreath.
Yeah, we have a guest appearance.
Hey! Get down! Get down! Thank you. You know you're not supposed to be up there.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to know? Private group people on Sunday. We're doing the decoupage pumpkins. So it will not be exact like the Once Upon a Wreath, because she's the one that came up with her own technique. But it's just the research that I've done from all the YouTube videos and try to come up with my own design. So we're going to be learning how to do those. So those will be great things to create and have sitting on your craft table as well. So trying to find things that you can have, not so much always what hangs on your front door, but what we can put in our home and add to our home's decor.
A lot of guys are saying you'll be disappointed if you join the private group. So
you'll be disappointed if you will?
You won't be. You won't be disappointed. Okay. So thank you, gals, for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, look for my schedule of what's coming next week. I know a lot of people had asked me about the new witch hat frames that Dollar Tree has available. I'm trying to work on a design to get something, because I'm too perfect. Like it has to look good enough for me to want to keep it in my home before I'll sell it and teach it to you. So I have a couple ideas. I just have to put it all together and then figure out what the cost is, materials, and if someone's already doing something, that whole kind of thing. A lot of research goes into what we make.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Have a great weekend, everybody. See private group people Sunday at 5. Talk to you guys then. Bye-bye.